figure walks, aged, timeless metal feet clanking against hard stone floor, hands equally silvered and timeless, sliding across consoles and low, embossed stone raised pillars, as they muse to themselves, following the antics of four interesting individuals. And while the weft of history sings, the story grows, the mystery deepens, and four individuals find themselves spiraled towards conclusion. What will they find for the aftermath? And what will they do to stop the apocalypse? That figure focuses on a green orb on the back of a large scarab-like metal construct. The scarab shudders and lowers itself as the green orb holographically alights and illuminates on the stoic metal face of Overlord Trazyn the Infinite, focusing in on the image of three individuals: an Eldari Psyker, a human sister, and an Astartes brother. Three individuals who have recently learned quite a great deal from their, let's say, escapades. The fourth member of the task force is meant to rendezvous with them at the location they are now currently at, leaving these three to investigate, to discover, to reflect. Good morning, afternoon, and or evening, ladies, gents, and also between and beyond the binary of the internet. Welcome back to the Alliance Roleplay, and more specifically, welcome back to By His Shadow Peace, our Wrath and Glory epic. I'm Foxy, your host for the duration of stream, and I have with me a couple of really cool people who do really cool things on the internet and who should be celebrated for the things that they do. I could tell you all about who they are, but instead of doing that, I'll just let them do that themselves, hopefully. And we'll start with, of course, the one and the only Lan the Dan.
Hey, what's up? I'm Lan the Dan. Tonight I'm playing Barris Corbett, our source of local intel, who is off doing his own thing right now, whether he would like to be or not.
And don't you worry, we'll get there very soon. But before we do, we'll slide across the overlay over to another classic and timeless friend of mine. I'm talking, of course, about the Alliance's one and only Michelle.
Hello, it's me. I'm Michelle, and I'm playing Aria Yun today, our sister of battle. She's, doing okay. Ish.
All things considered, right? You know, could be worse. Could be like a demon in your stomach or whatever. Oh, wait, shit, my bad. Outside of that, swing ourselves over from one devout member of the task force to another equally fervent member, as we of course bring ourselves to the internet's one and only Turk Accented.
Hello everybody, as stated, I am Turk or Turk Accented if you need to say my full name, but only if I've, helped you spin gold and I've tried to trick you into giving me your firstborn. It's a niche thing I do in the weekends. I try not to make it a whole big part of my personality. Anyway, I am playing Zadkiel Delos. I am very excited to once again get to use my big Imperial voice and fight in the Emperor's name.
Well, before I let you do that, and of course, with no spoilers for what might happen today or otherwise, we have, of course, one last member to introduce, but very far from the least of your cast list. If you know anything about anyone who's anyone, you of course know I'm talking about the one, the only, the incredible, the incomparable, Meg Mysteria.
Hello, I'm Meg, and/or Meg Mysteria, and I am playing the revealed Eldari Psyker, Lara, and/or Edelara Telone. Yeah, that's her. And she's getting so
nothing wrong
much.
with her.
Nothing wrong with her other than she keeps getting shit on for no reason.
No, it's not like you happen to run into a bunch of people who literally hate your species for existing or anything like that. No.
Yeah, no
don't worry
reason.
about it.
I don't
No
hate them
reason.
for
Yeah, totally.
existing. I hate them for continuing to exist. It's different.
No reason. Whatsoever.
If they had
Not
died
well.
before, it wouldn't be a problem.
Well, Zad's xenophobia, which will remind you for the sake of the stream, is a bad thing.
It is a bad thing. I'm not
Aside.
a person.
let's settle ourselves back into our scene. So, Taskforce Brimrose, sans one member. Last session saw you confront Governor Katanursov in her office. While the conversation was tense, the confrontation even more so, it did not break into open violence, and instead, you found yourselves perhaps gleaning insight, chalking a name or two off of your list, and finally putting a face behind that mysterious psyker you've been hunting down all this time. As you were able to communicate with the governor and gain access to her guard captain's information, you have with you several things. A list of suspects that they believe to be guilty for the bombings, though they have no actual data on that yet. And much more urgently, a list of kidnapping victims. Every single individual anywhere near C Primus and several beyond it who have been kidnapped. It looks like it might actually cover just about the entirety of the hive. So, as we settle the three of you back in, you can fully tell me where you feel like the three of you would have established to be your rendezvous point along with Barris. That's totally fine. I believe it was the bar, but it doesn't have to be. It can be wherever you want to be. So, tell me where the three of you are, how you're sat, stand, or otherwise, what you're doing, who you're talking to, and, well, how your brains are racking through this slowly unraveling mystery. As I am so keen to often say, my friends, my dearest darlings, the scene is yours.
I'd want to say we probably are at the bar. That feels like the biggest identifiable spot we've been able to actually get to in Mindsync.
Then I'll play my bar sounds.
All right.
Bars.
So I feel like we found ourselves some quieter section. If by no other virtue, just been how odd we all look, and the fact that Zad can probably act as a soundproof wall. And I don't have my cover to be in stealth, but he is covered, though he crosses his arms. And I think what he's thinking on most, beyond like personal stuff in regards to the mystery, because his mind obviously does wander elsewhere, is that this foe that we're facing is excelling at, in particular, misdirection and hiding themselves behind layers of scapegoats and runaway clues. And he's running through his head like who could actually have been benefiting of the people he's met from this amount of chaos on a planet that to him doesn't seem to hold like strategic value. I mean, this isn't really it's a world of the Imperium, so of course it holds that innate value, but it's not as though they've seen signs of gene stealer cults or even like, you know, particularly he knows there's Necrons here, which is interesting, but I don't know if he can think of anyone who is particularly on board with the Wake Up the Necrons gig. That doesn't seem like a particularly popular tune in the galaxy right now. So he's like trying to connect who could want this planet so badly that they're willing to risk all of these factions being wrapped up and at each other's throats. And I don't think he has a particular answer for that right now, but he is definitely looking intently at the table. And
Well, definitely past the imposing figure of Zadkiel, mulling over the information that's been gathered and considering several possibilities, some of which may even be correct. What are the rest of our two wayward acolytes up to? Aria and Lara. Where do you find yourself sat around the table, and what are you thinking or saying to your fellow comrades?
I guess Lara is just kind of mulling over and thinking about what is our start point with this. We have the bombing leads, and we've got the list of kidnapped victims. So where do we start? since he's posing that question, I guess, to them.
If you're asking that question, I think Aria's immediate first response is to immediately just go, the kidnapping victims. That woman I talked to, she was deeply concerned. And they've been disappearing for quite a while, it seems. Seems like something that we should be investigating.
And we'll have to look at places, perhaps, where these people may have worked or relations. Well, there goes my talking buddy.
Still here voice-wise.
Give me a second as I try to get this thing fixed. Oh boy. Alright,
Nothing but faith in you.
are we back?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Wow. Sorry, could you repeat that?
And I suppose the next step would be looking into places where they may have been working or relations, next of kin, co-workers, friends. Although a simple list of names doesn't give much.
I heard complaints about recent fuel shortages, not just the bombings.
You're also noticing, sorry to cut you off there, but you are noticing that the list is, while it's mostly just names, in every place they did add whatever information they thought might be relevant. So a lot of the entries do include things like where they lived, what job they were posted at to, their age. Some of them had criminal records, so some of them list things like that. It's not an all-encompassing informational list, but there is other information added onto there besides just their name that could be helpful if you like want to try to find some kind of correlation there. Possibly, you could try to like. I would take an argument for a skill check of some kind if you want to like look for a correlation between all of the various factors. Whether or not you'll find one is a different story.
A correlation would be fantastic. What would you like for that?
All right. I think in this instance, I would definitely allow either like knowledge and like scholar Imperium if you have any kind of scholar Imperium thing or something like that. I would also allow sort of like an awareness, or I believe I'd allow an awareness test here, as awareness is kind of your standard for both insight and perception in this game. So I'd allow awareness here. I'd also allow like I don't remember if history is a skill in this game, but something like that. Give me 1 second.
Scholar? Sorry, if you...
Scholar, yes.
Yeah.
If you have scholar, specifically scholar Imperium, I would allow it.
The Imperium, I do not. I also have
I think
Justice
you-
Ministorium. Ministorum.
Yeah, I'd allow either one of those.
So
Imperium would be more helpful here for you, but Ministorium could give you something useful.
so
I'm gonna roll awareness.
a bonus die or what?
Go for it.
So should I roll investigation bonus die or?
Yes, roll an investigation with one bonus die. Yes.
Gotcha. All right.
3 with a 1 on the wrath die.
Alrighty.
I rolled 3 icons and also a 1 on the wrath die.
4 icons.
Yo,
Which
look
got
at that.
6.
Love that for us.
Well,
True.
yeah.
Starting off with lots of problems.
So, as you're looking at this list, I'd imagine Aria, you're looking for like similarities in jobs or similarity in things like people who might have similar backgrounds, or maybe if it's like people who denote certain tenets of faith or anything like that. Laura, I
Could also
imagine
be
you're
something
looking for
like just a
more.
lack of, hey, maybe it's completely random, so there's no.
Yeah, in fact, and okay, so if that's fair, then Laura, I imagine you're maybe looking for more like personal similarities. So things like, are they similar ages? Is there a trend in like heights, birthplace, like average weight, criminal status, stuff like that? And I think, and and I'm going to specifically make you guys aware that this is a pass roll. It's not a failed roll. The thing that I think you're finding interesting is that it's almost impossible to correlate a trend along any of those lines. Like, you could say it's completely random. They're just picking off people randomly. But even if they were picking off people completely randomly, there would still be some kind of overlap around that filters. You'd have at least a couple of doctors, a bunch of mine workers, some people who are all the same age, things like that. What you're finding strange is none of those correlations line up. None of those correlations lined up. These kidnappings follow a pattern, but that pattern isn't anything related to these people, who they are, or what they do, or at least nothing recorded in these records.
So the pattern is essentially that there is no pattern.
Or there is no pattern, but the lack of a pattern is so direct, so intense, it's almost like there has to be a pattern. You just can't tell what it is.
Okay. It's a puzzle.
Is it some?
I suppose that's a frustration that kind of gets aired out.
A lack of pattern does tell us more about it than whoever's. If there's a group doing the kidnapping, then it doesn't look like they're going after anyone in particular, maybe just snatching people up at an opportunity. Actually, and I think Ari's going to take a look at the geographic location. Is there any pattern to, like, where they were taken?
It did mention, I think we mentioned last time, they're happening all across the planet, but...
Yeah.
Now, they do, at least to some degree, concentrate around the cities. Now, or at least the various hubs and mine sinks. Now, of course, that could just be because that's where they're getting reported. If someone got kidnapped in the middle of the waste, no one's going to be able to just randomly report that, right? So that could just be like bias in reporting. However, I think it's actually Laura who would recognize this more. I think both of you would recognize it, but I think Laura would ping it first, given the time they spent on this planet. You can probably get a sense, at the very least, on when the kidnapping started. Now, it's tough to call because the report you have lists all incidences flagged as any kind of kidnapping or abduction, which would include any random incidences related to like gangs or anything like that. So it's tough to tell, but a notable uptick in incidences reported on this list, which would probably correlate with, the recent spike in kidnappings and stuff like that, begins a couple years ago. In fact, and again, Laura, you would probably be the one to ping this. It lines up perfectly with being not too long after a pretty major event in Warhammer history that just happened as far as our canon timeline. If you want a hint, we keep making that joke, someone spilled coffee on my Imperium when in the intro video with the big Imperial map with the giant scar across it in the middle.
Oh boy.
That scar is an event. It's called the Cicatrix Maledictum. It is a massive tear in warp space. The Eye of Terror, the warp storm in the middle of the galaxy, ripped open and split in half with the fall of Cadia. And thus, like I mentioned before, the Imperium is now split in half. One half lit by the Astronomicon, one half shrouded in darkness. Y'all are on the dark half right now. It looks very much like not too long after the Cicatrix Maledictum opened up, kidnappings began to ramp up.
I suppose that once that once you kind of realize it's that, she'll point it out, and if it needs to explain what that is, that she'll do so.
I think at that point, as you're like pointing towards papers and no words are being said, it's like you'll kind of. This is becoming too cumbersome. You must speak. You must access my mind, witch.
Oof.
Without much of a second thought, she'll add you to the Skype call, so to speak, and continue with what she was saying.
Please pause. Lara, this is the first time you've been fully let through the gate, as it were, when it comes to Zadkiel's mind. And you've been able to sort of slip through the cracks easily because human minds aren't that complicated to move through when you've had enough practice with it. But there's always been things you couldn't necessarily process or perceive about Zadkiel. As you briefly go past the walls of his mind, you feel a few things. One, you can feel the layers and layers and layers of psychoconditioning, hypno-training, mimetic augmentations, and other things, all of the things done to his mind to turn him into what he is. It's as if someone took a perfectly sculpted thing and just Rubik's cubed it, twisted and played with all the sides and facets of it until it fit a very specific mold. Something loyal, something devout, something angry. Speaking of anger, just beneath that, just aside it, there is something incandescent, burning, a fire like hungering rage, smoldering, flickering so hot you know that Zadkiel can feel it flicking against the ends of his brain every instant of his life. And he ignores it. And he resists it. And just like that, it's gone. And you finally feel yourself settle into the mind of your comrade for the first time.
What have we found?
Essentially, that these kidnappings started at a point where there was a tear in. I lost how the explanation went. I'm not going to repeat
The Cicatrix
it.
Maledictum, yes.
Claim.
And the fall of Cadia.
Yes.
A horrible thing. But if it's connected to the kidnappings, then this may further mark it as evidence of chaos. And those orders which no longer serve his divine right. Which means we should be all the more careful. Until the return of our friend, until the return of Barris. We should think on this, see if there is any kind of possible connection. If Chaos themselves are at work here. There are many who revel in schemes among their rank. And the warp is prone to twisting and pulling at odd ends. And with that view of fighting chaos specifically, though I will admit that I don't believe Zadkiel would have been like in a kind of domestic situation. You know, you don't put Space Marines on guard duty, unless it's, you know, their home planets or fleets. But I feel like if I could make a roll to kind of try and see if I can recognize a kind of, like that weird way that the Space Marine brain is shaped to like just know tactics and battle and be able to think in a certain kind of way. I imagine even with warp corruption, there is still some of that same sort of perverse logic in the minds of a chaos chapter. I want to see if I can connect any of these dots to see if it's some kind of larger strategy and like try and predict what might be the next move in this case, rather than who is it or anything. I want to know like what would make sense as the next move if I am, assassinating political leaders, if I am kidnapping and keeping the populace in a general state of terror, if I'm, manipulating local criminal elements. Like, all right, but what is my next move? What do I do with this power I have?
Oh, I like this a lot. Zadkiel, give me an awareness roll.
All right, I can give you that. Got some ranks in that. All right, I've got 3 icons technically because I rolled a 6, and then no wrath die. Yeah, that is of interest.
So, as you're looking through this, your first thoughts are incredibly similar to what's already been revealed. That there really doesn't seem to be an obvious pattern here. In fact, every pattern you can think of, well, if you're trying to sow panic amongst the populace, maybe you do things like this. No, they're not following that pattern. Well, if your plan was to stop political leaders, okay, then why all the random miners, workers, and children? That doesn't make sense. If your plan is to, like, you're not figuring it out.
Mm-hmm.
But you are figuring out something, which is 3 icons, right?
Yes, 3.
These kidnappings are happening fast. The frequency at which they're happening is rapid. So either this is a concentrated, organized effort from a large group, or whoever's doing it is real good at doing it. Or both.
So it's either a concentrated effort from a large group or an incredibly elite centralized force. Oh, no. No, it couldn't be. It could very well be, but oh boy. You would. Anyway, Zadkiel will offer that we're either dealing with an incredibly abundant enemy force or one that is highly trained and specialized in these particular tactics. And given, I think Zadkiel can probably know from experience that there's not a large, occupying force of enemies on this planet. I think just basic scans from a ship would have shown that. Like, I don't know, I feel like if there was a big enemy movements occurring, he'll offer, it's very likely they're either working in tandem with the criminal elements of this planet, or they're on their own, allowing the criminal elements to run free and using these kidnappings to only enhance what's already occurring. But they'd be a small group, very talented, purposely doing this, perhaps without an immediate end, or perhaps with an end we can't quite see yet. Either is concerning. I'm just going to write something in the margins here so I can turn back to it later if I'm right.
Mm-hmm. So, it's as Zad finishes that thought, I'm going to briefly cut you all off again. I know I'm doing a lot this morning. I'm sorry. So, I'm going to briefly retcon things from last session. Before he ran off, Barris gave one of you the squad's transponder to let you all communicate with like your Inquisitor and things like that. Who did he give it to? This is me saying you all can decide who he gave it to. I'm not doing that it happened. You all need to remember it.
Well, I feel like immediate handoff would make sense for Zadkiel, just with like, hey, like if I need to call anybody, I'm calling the big guy in, ceramic plating that can move like a bus. And hit like a Abrams.
Oh, well, what a coincidence. Guy in her buddy who can hit like an Abrams and lift a bus. It's ringing.
I'll,
All I know is it's not the mute one.
yeah,
Well,
I answer the call of justice. And also
as you look at the transponder, the same way it's happened before, where it manifests the holographic face of all of your Inquisitor Brimrose, it manifests a different face this time. Not Brimrose, as the call seems to be coming from a personal line. One of the squads, actually. In fact, the face you see manifesting in front of you is familiar. Incredibly familiar. It's Barris.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Zad. The others with you?
Yes, we are all here. What is your situation?
Oh, you know me, just staying out of trouble.
I find that hard to believe.
It's as you say that you slowly see from the edge of the hololithic the barrel and action of a las pistol be nudged into screen and pressed slightly against the side of Barris's temple.
It appears you found fine company.
As fine as the day we all met. This company is that is asking that I bring my friends.
Then they have a death wish.
Don't let them know that. I'll send you the coordinates. Remain vigilant.
We will find you, friend. You will be safe.
I appreciate that, Zed.
Can they
It's not
hear
my
me?
safety that matters, though. Can they hear? Go ahead.
Captors of Barris, know on this day you have committed a grave error, and you will bleed long before you have a chance to lay any harm upon him. Surrender now, lay down your weapons, and accept the coming justice that will be given to you, and perhaps the Emperor may shine some glimpse of light onto your lives.
The answer you receive is the line being cut, which is a perfect space for our camera to sort of follow that cut. As the transmitter is being sort of ended, not by Barris's hand, but by a slender finger ended in red painted, in crimson red paint. The figure which then places that transponder directly back in Barris's lap. Barris, the room you find yourself in is, for lack of better terming, a large warehouse storage area. Dug this deep into the mine, it is almost uncomfortably large. There is massive stone ceilings all about this massive warehouse construct. In fact, the whole of this several tiered area you know to be, well, let's say a more wretched hive of scum and villainy couldn't be found elsewhere in the galaxy, to keep it simple. Regardless, speaking of scum and villainy, there are about 8 or 9 armed individuals around you, one of whom is pressing a las gun to the side of your head. In fact, the only individual not currently carrying a weapon is sat across from you, sitting on top of a large crate of las gun cartridges, holding her head in her hand as she places the transponder back in your lap. I think I like the big one. Wordy.
What's your angle here, Sills?
Angle? Do I have to have an angle? It's really that simple. I sent a lot of boys to grab you up last time I thought you were around here. Almost all of them came back to me dead. This is just loss prevention.
Only reason they're dead is because they started something.
Started?
I had no business with you.
And therein lies the problem, little Barris. You don't have any business with me. Anymore? You used to, which is funny. Do you remember those days?
I remember being freelance, so you knew that.
Yes, and I remember you earning me quite a few heads. I'm pretty good with that gun hand. Tell me, Corbin, you know why I keep the people around me that I do?
Sure, you'll enlighten me.
No, I won't. You'll figure it out, though. That's the fun thing. But I'll give you this hint. The people I keep around me, she snaps her fingers as two more armed individuals walk in, their weapons nudging the back of a third individual, a much younger individual. The people I keep around me aren't afraid to get their hands dirty whenever I ask them to. The young figure, clearly still in their youth, barely any augmentics to their young face, looks at you with horror in their eyes. Big bro?
Gonna be okay, Darren.
What's going on?
Someone seems to have a little trouble letting go.
It's a lot of curiosity, if I have to be honest. These two people leave my line of work all the time, most of them in body bags. But here you are, this scum-sucking rat in the bottom of the mine, scraping whatever paycheck they can to survive and keep their precious little brother fed. Then all of a sudden, you up and vanish. You get off-world and nothing. Now I know you well enough to know you weren't scraping together enough money to get taken off this planet. And there's no way you're making enough rack to be, what, a rogue trader now all of a sudden? So, you can make this very simple for yourself and tell me quite straight up who you work for now. Who's cutting your checks these days, little freelancer?
Someone whose price you couldn't hope to match. And someone who you and your goons who aren't afraid to get their hands dirty can't afford to take on.
Do you think I want to? You think this is about needing you for work? You're precious. No. Whoever's paying you, well, they've got some sway. They've got some movement. Even on a backwater like this, they can afford to keep your ratty ass alive. So, I don't need you to come work for me. I need you to keep working for them. But of course, do whatever I say in the process. Or, and she looks over, I can let those two make a mess. Darren shrivels from her gaze.
Fine.
Perfect. So when your friends show up, you'll let me kill them. It's a perfectly recompense for the assets and money that I lost getting my goon slaughtered. And afterwards, you and I can talk about, well, future gainful relationships.
You think they're gonna let you kill them? Doesn't matter what I say.
You know how long I've been running this little operation around here, Theris?
Of course. I was there when you started.
You mean when I killed my father and took it from him?
Right. That.
You see, in a rat hole like this, where the rodents and vermin will kick and play at whatever they can to keep you a part of their nest, you learn to eat your own to survive. You learn to pull apart whoever you have to pick one grape higher on that ladder. And there ain't no higher point on this totem pole than me. I own this hive, Barris. And your friends are gonna be walking out here like corpses. If they're lucky.
They're more than lucky. And I don't think it's my side who's gonna have to worry about too many corpses.
Well, do you fancy yourself a betting man? JMO, Faison, go grab our new friends. I think we might be needing their services. They look at her. Boss, are you sure we have to? I really feel like maybe. And the other one speaks. Yeah, you know what happened to the last group who had to go be around those two for too long, right, boss? She says, oh, if I remember, they pulled out their own eyes and teeth before someone begged them to be shot in the head, yes? Funny that. Someone else from besides the room shoots one of the two of them in the side of the head. All right then, you two. Fetch my toys. And if there's any more lip, we can spill some more blood around here, yes? The two she points to silently shuffle their way away. So hard to find good help around
Do you
here.
know what happened to them?
Well, let's just say that I learned you were keeping some interesting company. So I went and got some of my own.
Let me make one thing clear, Sills.
Hmm?
Since you know what happened to your goons, you touch one hair on Darren's head, and you're gonna wish that was you when I'm done with you.
I love it when men are brave before they die. You two. Take the little rat and put him somewhere safe for now. Keep an eye on him. As they turn and begin to pull at the back of Darren's collar to pull him away, he does not stop looking at you the whole time they drag him off.
Be back, I promise.
Sills, without looking at the boy anymore. I'm just thinking about that rat's hair, please. It's atrocious. Seriously, what is that?
I'll remember that.
He smiles at you, sits back in the ammo crate. Well, for now, we have time to wait. She holds out her hand. Someone hands her a cigar. Someone else hands her a lighter. Then she goes to ignite it. We sort of cut our scene away and turn ourselves back to our three compatriots, moving slowly through the deep sinks, through the deep streets of Mine Sink C Primus. Friends, you are delving down to the lower levels. So deep, in fact, that the main elevator sink doesn't actually reach there. You go about another 30 or so stories, as it were, levels deep, before you then have to sort of break off and begin taking several individual passages, and now find yourself walking down a massive corridor angled and sloped down to go further into the mine. This is still a metropolitan area, as carved off on several large, massive carved-out cities. You can see almost dug into the side of the mines, several hab buildings, shops, structures of all kinds. However, this far down, there is very little in the way of light. Lumen strips illuminate certain parts, so at least every 30 or so feet there's a solid globe of flickering light to keep you looking, but otherwise, it's dark, it's quiet, and I'm assuming a few of you are probably pretty upset. So, as you were.
I mean, if nothing else, I think the first thing Aria's gonna do is go put on her fucking power armor.
It would take some time for you to get back to your Goliath truck, but thankfully you weren't too far from there already, given that you weren't too deep into the mine before you came down this way. So I'll say that it definitely added an extra hour or so to your time, and maybe you're a bit worried that Barris is getting a bit roughed up in the time that it's taking you to get there. But you're on your way, and yes, you have your armor on.
Right. They have a hostage. That allows them some manner of control. Only so long as they can still hold the gun pointed at his head. Our priority should be freeing Barris from restraint and bringing to an end any leadership this gang might have.
Kill the head, the rest of them falls.
I'm assuming these are unorganized, cowardly beings. I would like to avoid any unnecessary death. But I will not make assumptions of their organizational structure. These gangs are resilient, if nothing else, to have survived for so long against the Emperor's justice, and should not be underestimated. Especially
Bit like cockroaches.
cockroaches.
There's many of them.
Cockroaches who know we are coming. And we would do well to give them the honor of a good death.
Well then, brother, shall we raise a song to the chorus of Laz Fire?
He hefts the bolt gun out of its holster. I will provide the percussion.
There's a low thrum as Aria just sets off the shock naginata for a quick second. And I the melody. And you?
Is it to Aria? Yeah, it's Aria, right?
She's Aria, it's to Lara.
Yes, sorry.
Sorry, I was.
Yeah, we look over at Laura, just like, the fuck you gonna do?
I don't know if they saw you in the call, but or if they've been keeping track of us.
They've been keeping track of us, and we're assuming that this is the same people that hired the initial groups that confronted us back at, was it A Primus that we were at? At A Primus, then they know what I can do. At least some of what I can do. Have to assume that they may have some sort of countermeasure. So I'll work on dealing with that. Or I'll work on dealing with whoever has got whoever has got their hands on Barris.
How are you playing this then? Guns blazing? Negotiation?
What words are there to be had between the Emperor's loyal servants and those that scurry at any sign of justice? It is a conversation between lions and sheep. take heart. And trust the strength of our arms.
I think if you allow for dramatic flavor, you're all saying this as the corridor you have been walking down finally approaches a large, massive industrial complex door, which is already beginning to slowly grind open due to proximity sensors noticing your approach. As it slowly begins to shift open on massive grinding gears, you can see in front of you a large three-segmented compound. On one side, a massive mine sink going further deep into the crust of the planet. On the right side, what appears to be some sort of maybe administrative compound or living quarters at some point, although it appears very run down and sprayed over with all kinds of strange graffiti and the initials CP12 in several places. And in the middle, a massive warehouse storage construct, which you can already see the doors open, and the transponder, the coordinates you've been given by Barris, lead directly into the middle of.
They welcome us. They think they have the advantage. Let us prove them wrong with time. And Zadkiel has his armor on, of course, though he is still within the coverings. But he absolutely has. I said bolt gun, but he's actually gonna have his bolt pistol here, and the chainsword at the ready. Just both slightly out of cover, but obviously both still kind of like shifted and concealed under the robes.
Can I do a science check?
Absolutely.
Please and thank you.
And unlike Kata Nursal, these guys don't have concealed phenomena.
Fantastic. The 3 and the DN and the 3.
With a 3, so with the passive significance, you can certainly feel that there are just the lightest rankles in the warp about this area. It's not exactly potent. There is no active sorcery being wielded right now, but you can feel that the warp has been almost phased with and shifted in that way distinctly human psychers often do. There is at least something else here with your abilities or something similar.
That is concerning. Not ideal.
Well, if I only gave you ideal things, it wouldn't be a very compelling campaign.
True.
So, with that information, any plans?
We're gonna get in there. We're gonna be tougher, meaner bastards than they are. And we'll play this one by ear because I don't think trying to pull a plan on people who've set such a nice trap should be fucked around with just yet. I think we just prove we're a very strong mouse. Speaking of
Well,
which, you fucking die, man.
in which case, what ends up happening is, as you all approach the warehouse complex as you discuss your plan, you once again feel those. You once again see the doors to the warehouse complex immediately open and begin to shift and grind. The lights inside are dimmed enough that at first you can't see as your eyes begin to and systems begin to adjust to the change in light pressure, or I guess in light exposure. The first thing you notice is gleaming small pits of brilliant pinkish crimson in the shape of eyes, flared with warp fire. 2 pairs of them, in fact. Well, hello, Taurus, a voice says, as floodlights come on in pairs. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. And you see several things. The large, massive warehouse room, which has at least 2 sort of tiered floors to it, is certainly not empty. It is occupied with all manner of armed individuals, In fact, at an early count, you'd say roughly 24 of them, just about. Well, 24 individuals with weapons. In the back, you'll notice 4 of said individuals appear to be racking large, they throw uppers off of large emplacements and rack the side of massive weapons as they arm 2 heavy stubber turrets and turn them towards you, in your directions. In the middle is a couple of individuals. The first, incredibly recognizable, is Barris, attached to sitting in a chair and obviously being watched by a couple of armed individuals. Behind them, fairly behind them, almost to the back of the room, sat in a large throne made of ammo crates, is Sills, sitting with a pistol in her hand. She is a long, slender individual, almost looking like she might have been void-born if you weren't certain she's probably born on this planet. She would look sickly if not for the incredibly regal state of her affair and the well-dressed makeup about her face. However, even with that, she never fails to stop looking hawkish, I would say. She lowers a hood, brushes at her hair, and gestures to her left and right, where 2 individuals in ragged, tattered clothing with strange contraptions of some kind about the backs of their heads twitch and jitter and writhe, their eyes alight in warfire, and you can see incandescent energy bubbling beneath their skin. It is not hard to tell, even for those of you who are not inclined to understand how psychic powers work. These are not well-trained, organized, dedicated psychers. These are wretched individuals barely containing the strength of the warp in their bodies. Unfettered psychers, if you would. Thought you'd never make it. Had the party all lined up. Snacks got a cold. Sorry about that.
Release our companion, and we'll be on our way.
Sure. Just drop your guns, remove your armor, and if you could line up and face that wall with your heads all in a nice line, that'd be really easy. We can make this nice and simple. Wanna let him go? No problem.
Have you truly built an empire on being this obstinate?
No, darling. We built an empire off of getting what I want and killing whoever won't give it to me.
Have you considered our terms of surrender?
Oh, and she kind of almost sits up. Oh, we're doing this officially. Sorry, I should have dressed better. Yes, of course. Please state your terms.
Lay down your weapons, surrender yourselves into the Imperium's judicial system, and you may yet live.
I knew I liked you. The big one, so funny. Did you find this abhuman, by the way? What are you? Make more of you?
Not for you.
Barris, why don't you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Why don't you tell me right now what small opening you find to slip out of the unfortunate position you are in and rejoin your friends in a ready battle stance?
Oh, man. So, like, they didn't take my weapons or anything, did they?
No.
Alright. You said there were munitions crates, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have a gun. And I think I see just enough opening to fire off a shot.
In an instant, Barris, almost without fully even drawing it, you just angle the holster on one of a couple of pistols you have on you again.
I think I just got the one, but it's a good one.
Well, As you angle your auto pistol and fire off a snapshot, it ricochets off of the ground at just the right angle to slide up into an ammo crate just to the left of the Sicario next to you, and it detonates in an explosion. That Sicario is flung to the ground. Everyone jumps in panic and raises their guns immediately. As Barris, you literally kick out of your chair, the chair flying into the other Sicario's face for a brief moment, and then you slide and find yourselves just jumping back in a spot directly next to all your friends, weapons drawn and ready. Squad, you're all as one again.
Yeah.
Nice of you to drop in. Cough. Sorry, that was out of character.
Figured I'd make a difference.
No, you're right on time for the start of the symphony.
Sills at this point just has her nose bridged by or bridge of her nose in her hand, and it's just, you know, Barris, if there's one thing I find that makes you just like other men, is that you never seem to know when something good is in front of you until that thing gets you killed. Well,
There ain't nothing
you all know how
about
this
you.
works. Well, you all know how this works. Bring me heads. I don't want bodies. Put bullets in them and clean the rest up. I'll be here watching.
Hey, Sales.
And it is. Yes, little Barris.
Remember what I promised you.
Can't wait to see it. And it's as she ends that line that the scene erupts into a raucous explosion of calamitous gunfire. Or it would once my sounds start working.
Oh,
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. We're good. We're in there. We're in there. Yes. Combat begins. Now, friends, it's been a little while here, so I'll remind you all that I don't like rolling initiative because it fucking sucks. So we're going to do this very, very simply. One of you will go, I will go. One of you will go, I will go. And we'll keep repeating that plan until, well, we're out of stuff to go through. So, the scene sets. There are overall approximately 20 or so armed individuals taking shots and clinging at you all as you all scatter for cover or stand there taking the fire, however you feel. Overall, the space is roughly about 50 or so meters sort of wide. The closest individuals are probably about maybe 12 meters from you, so you're relatively close range for most of you with smaller arms. The furthest back individuals, namely those massive 2 gun emplacements that are already ripping up and opening up on you all, are pretty far back and elevated. Sills herself was also pretty far back, sitting on her throne, and despite all the gunfire around, just appears to be interestedly watching you all.
Anyone got something they really want to do?
I have a thought. I would
Great.
love
Just
to
the
see
one?
happen instead. Yes, just a singular thought. It's one brain cell I'm working with here,
Yo.
guys.
Do it.
Does
Make the
anyone
brain
happen
cell.
to have a brain?
One brain cell, and I love the thought. I would love to invoke Terrify.
Alrighty.
So I've already made the roll, and it's 5 icons.
Okay.
So, and you
No.
make a DN5 fear test or some of the consequences.
So, why don't you go ahead and tell me what it looks like as you begin to try to manifest his power as I do a thing real quick.
So the way I imagine it right now is that it's a bit of an aura that kind of flares up starts at the feet and then flares up around Laura, and then it comes up around Bad Kill and Aria and Varys, and it clings almost like a shadow and then creeps up and around and almost creates a monstrous version of them. Something that's bigger than life, something that makes it monstrous. just something that you really don't want to fuck with.
So, as you manifest this, as you manifest this large, massive psychic creature behind you in attempts to sort of like terrify these individuals, I'll roll the fear test for those that aren't so fortunate. What's the difficulty number for that?
I think that focused more so on like Zadkiel and Aria, our power babes.
Word. So, then it looks like, okay, so two mobs of guys fail the test overall, and so a certain number of them will fall victim. So let me know the effect of this, and I have a thing to let you know about.
It doesn't really give the effect. It just says some consequences. So, however, I guess you deem fit.
Fair enough. Yeah. Okay, so I think what happens is that it's a mob. Why not? We'll do something there. You rolled a 5 on the test.
Yeah.
Cool. So we'll say that out of each mob, about 2 individuals each just kind of begin to fall over in panic, holding at their heads and scratching as if trying to make themselves as small as possible, dropping their guns and immediately falling as prostrate as possible, just trying to completely avoid being seen by this horrifying psychic phenomenon manifesting in front of them. That effectively knocks 4 of them out of the fight. So 2 guys in each of the mobs just kind of drop dead. However, as you push this construct forward, one of the psychers next to Stills will twitch and raise their hand and flick that hand. Lara, you'll feel just the barest flicker of tension at the side of your head, like a small momentary headache, and that image will shatter. The ones that are terrified are still on the ground, terrified. Those psychers, however, just no-sailed it. I did spend 1 ruin, though.
Well, I made you use a ruin, so...
Yeah. And you still killed 4 guys, technically, so, you know.
There is now the evil eye staring at this psyker. You're my next victim.
The psyker just looks up at you, twitches, and a bit of saliva just leaks from the corner of their mouth before they, like, wipe it away.
Not even the same league, buddies.
No, not really. Speaking of which, I'm gonna have some guys go now. So, what will happen is you will see several mobs of individuals. We'll turn them on Zadkiel right now because Zadkiel's the biggest, scariest guy hanging around right now. You'll see several of these narcos turn large auto pistols as they run for cover and begin to sort of pick shots at you, Zad. We're gonna have... that's actually the wrong stat sheet, excuse me, I'm very sorry. I have the right one now. Bonus die. Let's do 5 this time. Dad, what's your defense?
4.
Meets it, beats it.
So
I
wait,
get to
do we
roll
get anything if
damage.
you roll a 1 on your wrath die?
Nope.
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh, I did that wrong. That's my fault. No, it's fine. Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, Zad, what's your defense rating?
Defense is for but resilience.
Sorry,
is for-
resilience.
Resilience is 11.
Oh, well, several of them place shots at your large armor. However, you are an imposing bulk of a figure and find yourself unable to, and find your armor completely no-sailed, or just no-sailed all around, flicking off of you.
I did state he was coming in with the big, like, still with his covering all on, so I imagine that's just getting shot away, and these flashes of yellow and the Lamenter white and red are beginning to shine through, and they're realizing, like, oh, that's an Astartes. Is that part of the psychic vision?
They don't know what that is, but they know you have big armor and a bigger gun. So, as we go on, we pass it over back to you guys. Who wants it?
I can go if folks are still thinking about things.
What?
All right. In that case, I would like to fire a bolt gun towards the. Sorry, remind me. The ravening psychers are kind of. They're between us and Sills.
They are further towards the back of the room, probably about, I'd say, maybe 35 meters or so from you.
Okay. I'm going to take an initial opening salvo with my bolt gun towards them, as I will also kind of just begin moving forward and drawing my chain sword here.
Alrighty.
So yeah, I'll just take a shot. Make sure my bolt pistol. Bada boop. That is 5 icons.
Pass the defense. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay. 1d6. Doesn't look like I rolled any icons there. But I'm not sure if we set this up right.
The base damage. What does that have a base damage? A DR?
It does have a base DR of 10.
Okay, so then it does 10 total, which steers off a good. So yeah, you as you fire off your salvo of bolt pistol rounds, a couple hit the wall. One plinks directly into the shoulder of the psyker and blows its arm off. This explosion of gore and a shower of viscera all against the wall behind it. The psyker turns its head at you, twitches somewhat, and otherwise seems completely unperturbed.
+1 to the result. Sorry, it's a brutal pistol, so when rolling damage die, I add +1 to the result of each extra damage dice. So
yes. So if your extra damage die, which was
like a 3, it would be closer. Yeah, but I rolled a 1. So yeah. Cool.
No, so yeah.
All good. Yeah. All right, and then I'll just move up and try to be in melee range of the Sicarios and other ground troopers in that point, because at that point it's going to start sounding like a chainsaw out here.
As you start brum-numbing, shout out to In His Divine Name, you find yourself... You'll find one of those large, massive gun emplacements will again rack its slide and begin to trail tracer fire down towards you, as they are going to be taking a shot at you with this. That's also against you, Zad. Although, that's interesting. I got 2 icons. I got 2 sixes there.
You got 2 icons. That's 4 icons. That's, yeah.
Cool. Here comes the damage. So that's gonna be a grand total of your resilience is 11. Yes.
Yes.
Well, then you take exactly no damage as I roll exactly 11.
Yep.
As you start to, I imagine Zed, this is like as you're running forward with your pistol firing out. This thing starts tracing fire at you. One round catches you solidly in the shoulder. You don't stop, but you definitely have to slow down your stride just a little bit as you're moving forward. But around just boom, impact off the side, shears off a bit of ceramite, leaves some of the paint chipped off. Otherwise, you are unperturbed. With that,
how dare they? They disfigured the mark of my chapter. I want you to remember who exactly this person is, because they're getting a shot next. Or after I've ravaged the group I'm gonna be in, I'm just gonna be making sure that eye contact is on them.
That's fine. The last 3 in that group, they should have attacked last turn, and I'm not very smart about that. Are going to take a shot at Aria because you are the next closest right now. So here comes an attack at you. Only rolling with this many extra dice. All right, what's your defense rating?
2.
Oh man.
Assist. In that case, here. What's your resilience?
A 9.
You don't take any damage. As several pistols begin to fire at you, and you have to bring your hand up to kind of block some of the rounds, but it just blinks off of your power armored gauntlet and shoulder, as they clearly don't understand how ceramite armor works or how armored you guys are. And I also forgot how armored you guys are until just now, and we'll remember that for future attack rolls. Got it, thank you. That's my turn, guys. Back over to you guys.
Shall I go next?
Oh, alright.
Well, no, I mean, if you want to go next, that's fine.
I was just gonna say, like, just out of curiosity, how far away is the guy that Zad's like got his eyes on right now?
At the back. So these are the guys like the guy who shot Zad with the with the heavy stubber is there are two mounted guns on the back, kind of elevated behind everybody, raised up somewhat.
Damn.
Okay.
I'm gonna take aim at one of the people who's cowering, or one of the people who's terrified.
You got it. Well, funnily enough, they are in a mob, so the way it's going to work is you're just going to make your attack roll normally, and for every number you pack their defense, you will hit another person.
Oh.
So go ahead and make your attack roll as normal. You'll go get their defense, which let me tell you is not high.
That
so
is
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 icons.
yes.
Cool. Then there's no reason for you to roll damage because this is the way mobs work. Actually, no, sorry. Go ahead and still roll damage. You have to pass the resilience. So go ahead and still roll damage. I don't think you can fail this with a pistol. I think if your base damage die is high enough, you should be fine. What's your base damage die?
Base damage die is...
It's the DR rating on your weapon.
Oh, 9.
Base DR. Oh, yeah, then you're fine.
Base DR is 9.
Tell me how you killed 3 people.
Alright, I see them cowering on the ground, and I look at them and I go, and I just fire off 3 quick rounds in succession.
Yeah, 3 of them just literally don't even rise as you just mercilessly bang, 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 execute 3 of them without any hesitation or mercy. They splatter against the ground and fall over. Filth quirks an eyebrow. That damn freelancer. We'll then move on. Let's go with the next mob. They're going to split their attacks as well. We're going to start off with 5 auto pistols. We're going to do 5. Let's do Aria again this time, as some of them are already up with Zad and trying to kind of like get into brawl against him, if they still don't know what the fuck he's dealing with. But 5 of them who are about separate will kind of aim their pistols down at you and try to take some shots at you. So here comes a couple of auto pistols. Aria, your defense rating is 2, yes?
Yep.
Meets it beats it. So here comes the damage roll.
Does that pass a 9?
It does not. Yeah. Well, so. Oh wait, I just realized. Hold on. Is that what? No, it's fine. I did. It's all good. I did it right. So yeah. Yeah. So. What happens is, so effectively, again, more rounds just simply plink off of you, and don't find themselves able to do anything off of you. However, the other 5 that are sort of like in that mob will then charge at you and sort of try to engage you with their combat knives. So you'll see some of them kind of bearing down on you with their weapons, trying to get in close and fight with you in melee area. So here comes some of those. I'm gonna pass your defense there. So here comes the damage roll. That's not right. Hold on. Oh no. That's right. But it's still not enough, unfortunately. Oh, I'm sorry. I was supposed to add bonus die to this. It's my fault. 1 second. Rolling that again. My bad. Unfortunately, still not enough. As you'll find several of them sort of pile in on you and begin to sort of stab and engage with you. So you are currently locked up in melee area, so it's going to be hard for you to kind of fire at range or sort of get out of that without fighting the guys in front of you right now. But otherwise, several of them are piling on to fight you, and the rest are just kind of stepping away to keep firing at Zad. We are going to pass it back over to you, which means I believe it's your turn now, Aria, yes?
Yep. And Aria is going
go ahead. No, go ahead, please.
pull out her shock naginata and just go, brothers and Lara. We bless the sinner as he burns. Let's sing this hymn as she starts singing to the movement, the 11th movement of the Golden Throne, as she starts swinging her naginata as she lights it up.
Aria, make me an attack roll.
4 plus 6. That's 5 icons or 6 icons?
6 icons. So with 6 icons, go ahead and roll your damage now. don't think you need to actually roll here, but you can do it anyway. Why
I mean,
not?
I got +2 to my extra damage, so that's a DR of 9 + 2.
Yeah, no, so, ultimately, you do, in fact, okay, so, Aria, as you sort of, like, bring your sock knocking out of back, and you begin to sing as you swing the motions, you hear something just slightly underlying this hymnal in the back of your brain. It doesn't overtake it at first as you begin to swing, so go ahead and tell me what it looks like as you kill, you rolled 6 icons, yes?
I believe so, yeah.
Tell me how you kill 4 people.
The first one is bisected in half.
Mm-hmm.
The second one has their head knocked off. The third one's cut down cleaved from head to toe. And the last one, she stares straight in the eyes and says, in the last couple of lines, "For the Emperor, may the sinners burn in his grace," and she flashes right through. Just like a stab in the gut.
As you stab in the gut and sort of plant them on down on the ground and rip out your spear, continuing to move through, you can hear that thing in the background slowly begin to grow, on pace with each slice and cut and thrust and verse and hymnal. Kill them. Kill them. Kill them. Kill the cowards. And it's hard to say, Aria, despite everything you know not to feel, it's hard to say it's not a little infectious. Any response, feeling, emotion from that, dear Aria? Or shall we keep moving?
For now, in the heat of battle, as the rhythm of the fight goes, not much thinking to be done, is there?
Letting that voice sort of remain the background, almost baritone to your hymnal, you continue to swing into the grace of melee. Just as the camera pans and cuts over to the Psyker with his recently blown off arm, courtesy of Zakio's bolt pistol, who will raise their other hand, flicker, and a wave of warp fire will creep down their veins to the tip of their fingers and begin to lash electricity from in between their hands, which then begins to reach and leap out at Zadkiel. As I need to stop narrating and make a roll, so I'm gonna do that now. Give me a second. Zadkiel, what's your defense again?
4.
Well, that ain't gonna save you, buddy. Also, barrels of the warp. And I can't shift 3 here, so Turk, you're gonna take 1 mortal wound. That's just 1 wound, no armor, no resilience, nothing. Just 1 straight wound.
Okay.
As psychic fire will leap out of this psyker's fingers and arc into your armor, and you can feel it lacerate against your skin, rippling pain through your body. And then... Oh, that's so bad. Oh, that's so bad. Oh, that's so bad. Okay, so that Psyker fires energy from their fingertips, and almost immediately afterwards, they will hurl, just crumple, and begin to fall, their head beginning to rack in pain, and they begin to scream loudly. Lights begin to pop, burst, and blow out all around the warehouse until this whole area is lit only by the constant sounds of gunfire. The other Psyker is going to make their own attempt at a smite. They're going to do theirs against Aria, who decided to step on up into melee.
All right.
Aria, that passes your defense by so much.
And as a reaction, I can spend 1 faith to ignore psychic power effect for 1 round.
Holy shit. Oh my god. Okay, wait, this is perfect. This is perfect. Aria, as you hear this voice aching at the back of your brain, just constantly pounding louder and louder. Kill the cowards. Kill the cowards. Kill the cowards and ignore your own cowardice. A single piano note, single hymnal cry pierces through that. Just one note. And you hold out your hand as psychic lightning just dissipates all around you to either side, flickering into nothing. And yeah, you all just saw that, by the way, if you were curious. So, we're back at the top of the round. The lights all just went out. One psyker's doing fine. One's not. Phil is just watching with more entertainment. And, well, the rest of the guys are still shooting around. Zad, you got a couple guys who are coming to brawl with you in melee, some more who are shooting at you. Aria, you have about the same, pretty much. And Laura and Barish, you are at the back hanging out. Who wants to go, friends?
I have a plan. And it involves a chainsword, if it's alright if I jump in here.
Sure.
Right. So, fun facts about me. I have blind fighter, so I don't care where the light level is here. I also am a defender of humanity, so I have +1 icon, I guess, on successful attacks against mobs. I also have a chainsword of Angelos, in which I hope to bury deep into this gang of Sicarios.
Yay!
So that's not 8 icons and a 5 on the Wrath die.
Okay, damage, please? Wait, hold on, what's your damage rating?
DR for this one is 12.
Don't roll, tell me how you kill 6 people.
They charge in, like, drawing knives and other hacking in beating implements, and you just do the as Zed backhand cuts into the first one and keeps cutting through 3 of them. The rest are stopped for a beat as he rams the other one right through the force clavicle, pushing it down to the hilt before coming up and slicing into the second. And he'll just grab the 6th one by the head and just kind of push his face into the top of the blades as well as it spins before shinking it off. Though I do need to make a test here because I'm in melee combat and C-blood, so I need to make a willpower test.
Yeah, you do.
Well, I'm thirsty.
Yeah, Zadkiel, you suddenly feel the uncontrollable urge to rip and tear at the flesh all around you. There is nothing more satisfying for you than this pure, raw sensation of bloodshed all about you.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a good time to mention, by the way. No, I'll wait till it's your turn. Never mind. Go ahead.
All right, I'll just add as that thing hits, he like is still holding on to the head of that last guy. He just comes up and bites off that guy's front of the guy's face, already dead and shredded at this point, but like just leaves that hanging in gore in his mouth that now his teeth almost seem extra elongated and pointed.
So, as Zadkiel becomes the worst kind of vampire for the next while,
it's Morgan time.
Yeah, it sure is. It's more like Morgan time for all my enemies. Let's go ahead and give those heavy bolters a try. They're both gonna shoot at... Actually, you know what? Yeah, you know what? We're gonna have one of... You're gonna have both heavy bolters shoot at... No, we're actually gonna put... You know what? We're gonna go for the back lines right now, because they don't want to shoot into the melee. They're gonna shoot for the back lines. Let's shoot for our 2 friends. Barris, would you say you've dove for cover at some point in the next, I don't know, past 12 seconds?
Yeah.
Cool. In that case, I'm gonna roll this. Count your defense rating is 2 higher than whatever it is.
Okay.
Do I beat it? with, oh my god!
Whoa.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Uh,
5, 6, 7 icons!
Yes, a 72.
I'm so sorry. What's your resilience?
7. With 3 armor?
Paris. That would apply to you. Your armor just is what makes it 7. Barris,
Okay.
you're gonna take, with 7, you're gonna take a grand total of 3 wounds.
Okay.
So I imagine what this looks like is, Barris, as you're kind of weaving between cover, taking shots, kind of getting up, taking shots between cover, you go to sprint for another piece of cover, just as the autocannon lets off another rip of fire alongside of it. You make it to cover, but you can feel around smash into your rib cage. It's an autocannon. These things are meant to blow people, or sorry, it's a heavy stubber. These things are meant to blow infantry ranks apart. So it's not a small impact. In fact, you almost feel yourself thrown back by the impact of the round and smash into the cover you're trying to run behind. It's painful, and you're bleeding, and also you've been shot, so you know.
Great. Is anyone shocked right now? Or is anyone taken shock?
I believe so. No one's gotten hurt. No one's gotten hurt except for Turk's 1 mortal wound so far. And, you know, you.
Okay. Never mind then.
In that case, Lara, would you say you're in cover right now?
I would say so.
Cool. Whatever your defense is, increase
Bring
it by
on.
2.
Oh, yay! I have defense now.
Does 1, 2, 3 icons beat your current defense?
Yes, it does.
How many? What is your resilience?
6.
Lara, you're going to take 4 wounds.
4 wounds?
Yeah.
Owie.
As you also, I think what happens for you is almost like, as you're like focusing on your terrified power, you manifest that, and then you finally step back to recover somewhat and recognize that at some point, a round sheared straight through the cover you were hiding behind and just went through you. It's not, you know, horrible, but you're definitely bleeding, and also you've been shot.
And also, I've been shot. Ow.
So, you know, condolences for that. That's my turn, though, friends. We're back over to you. Who wants it?
I'll take it.
Go for it.
Because I have 2 psychers, and the fact that they're being called psychers, I consider that to be an insult.
Ouch. Oh, I should mention, by the way, Lara, the warp is in flux right now. It is turbulent in a way you know it is not safe to be. It is rankled by all the constant outpouring of psychic powers from the very, very untrained psychers. And in fact, the one with the 1 arm which just fired the smite at Zadkiel, something is going wrong with them. Something very, very not good.
Well, it's a good thing I'm not gonna fuck with the warp in order to kill them.
I believe in you.
I'm gonna use my shuriken pistol.
Shuriken pistol!
Shuriken pistol, I'm gonna shoot him.
Go ahead and make me an attack roll for me, love.
The 6 with the 6 on a rack die.
Absolutely hits, absolutely crits, absolutely passes. Yeah, so go ahead and roll your damage. Actually, what's your base damage rating for this?
10.
Yeah, I guess you can roll damage if you really want to.
It's an additional 5 with the die.
Okay, so 10 plus 5 is 15. Oh, wait, no, okay. Wait, so you rolled a 5 on the die, or did you roll 5 die and they all came up
5 on the die.
icons?
It's
Okay,
just-
so then it's... Okay, so it's 11 then, which is still a lot. 11 minus their... Okay, yeah, nope, that's... Yeah, okay, cool. Well, so were you aiming for the one that's already been injured by that kill or the other one?
The one that's already been injured. I'm tired of the screaming.
Doesn't matter. You killed it anyway. Go ahead and tell me how you do that.
I step out behind the cover after drawing and making sure this thing is loaded. Step up, and of course, the only people that hear it are the ones that are tapped into the site call and comment, "You are not even worthy of the name." And as close as I dare, which really isn't that close at all, in the gun and fire off. And I'm not sure how I would describe how these rounds look, but I imagine it's similar to almost a hollow point where the projectile is designed to like tear.
Shuriken pistols or shuriken weaponry for the Eldari is known to fire incredibly thin, razor-sharp shards of a thin polymer they develop, which are meant to sort of literally just rip straight through their targets and tear through them. So I imagine as you fire off a brace from the shuriken pistol, you just see the Psyker's head get punctured in 3 or 4 places by very thin shards that go straight through the brain, through the cortical mass, and all of a sudden that screaming just is silenced as the Psyker just flumps over, their brain matter beginning to leak out of those razor-sharp holes. Very, very dead. The other one doesn't even appear to be bothered by it. The warp, however, does calm somewhat. For the record, guys, that guy was about to be demonically possessed, so you made the absolute right call right there. He's gonna pop a demon out of his fucking head. That was a great call, great save there.
Fantastic.
We love to see that kind of play action. Recognize the threat and, just go for it.
Let's give him a feel for that one.
It was an abomination. He needed to be put down.
You weren't wrong. It would have gotten very bad for y'all if he didn't.
Right call by the coach
Exactly.
there.
You do get it.
And
Anything
back
more for
behind cover I go.
As you slide back behind cover to both nurse your wound and recognize the scum all around you, we slide back over to my rapidly thinning. You know what? We're gonna have your other Psyker friend go actually, because he hasn't gone yet. He's going to try. You know what? Zad, Aria, I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10. Tell me the number.
7.
4.
I'm shooting at Aria. The number was 7.
I win.
Okay. Is it the same psychic effect as last time?
It is not.
Alright, cool.
As you're going to see them. Let's see if you can pass a difficulty first here. Ooh, no, I did not actually. Oh, that's a very bad roll.
That's not good.
Well, yeah, as they go to try to sort of lift the psychic power, they can feel like sort of like without their partner around to help them rankle the warp, their access to the psychic power isn't as strong as they need to be. I'm gonna burn a ruin and have them instantly do their thing, because they need to do that. Sorry. So I'm gonna spend another ruin and have them try that again. Now that's better. Let's see, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's just enough. Perfect. So here, this. Michelle, what's your resilience again?
My resilience is 9.
As this Psyker sort of screams, and you'll see them lift their hand, and a giant chunk of the wall behind them will just get rent out, pipework and all, and then get flung at you at Mach 2 and smash into you. You're able to kind of bring your Naginata up and like slice into it to stop most of the damage. You still take 1 wound.
He's the next problem.
Is that
There were
a
2
big
Psykers
problem?
after all.
Yeah.
You- With that, we pass it back over to y'all.
I
He
think
can
I'm.
play. Oh, you go first, actually.
Oh, sorry. I might take a shot at the other psyker.
I would say it's
Seems
gonna
like-
be a little bit long range from you. If you move up, it's gonna get you close. Okay, so I'll give you this. You can shoot from a slightly long from where you are, which will give you a long. It'll be a long range shot for you. Or you can move to within your close range, which means you will be close enough that other people can be shooting at you too.
Okay. I'll move to closer range.
You hop out of your cover, slide over the top of it, even with your wound, dash you for another cover, raise your pistol, take your shot.
Okay.
Why did I not give you the Telekine Dome?
Oh, 2?
So that's 1, 3, 5, 6.
You passed. Go ahead and roll damage. No icons on your damage die, but yeah, base damage though.
Base damage is 9.
9 minus 4 is okay. Okay. Goddamn. So yeah, you sort of come up and start putting solid fire at this thing, much like its friend. You put a round center mass. It goes straight into the chest of this thing.
I should use salvo. Fuck.
No, go ahead, salvo. Do it. Full auto. Yeah, go ahead, full auto. You're fine.
Okay. So I think that gives me one more die.
Yep.
Oh, sweet.
So I got-
so that's 4 damage.
So, with another damage. Yeah. So with another damage there. Yep. You managed to so 6 in total. Oh shit. Yeah. So yeah, you put a solid like right in the middle of its chest. It goes like straight into where you figure a normal person the heart should be. But where you've seen plenty of people slump from shots in the heart, this psyker just takes the hit, sprawls against the wall a little bit, and then slumps forward. Still kind of like animated clearly. The round clearly hurt them severely, but they are not dead. Let's pass it back over to my guys. I've got a couple of a couple more gang members who are going to shoot. And Barris, you slid so close into contact. Why not have take advantage of that and oblige you so kindly? So we're going to have a couple of auto pistols make their way over to you. Barris, do 1, 2, 3, 4 icons. Pat to your defense.
I'm undercover, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I get the same mod as before.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Then no, my defense is 5 right now.
Absolutely. In which case, you are able to duck down at taking that shot as you feel rounds start blinking and flaring. One whizzes right past your head. And let me tell you, friends, if you've ever had a bullet whiz right past your head, it's fucking terrifying. It's not fun. You can hear it. Let me tell you.
And
So as you can, yeah, it's not great. It sucks a lot. So as you hear that solidifying, familiar, sizzling whiz as a round sails right by your head, you duck back into cover. More rounds kind of pile in. Aria, there's still 2 or 3 of them that are trying to fight you with their combat pistols. They're gonna try to do so. Actually, sorry, with their auto pistols, they're gonna try to do so now. Do 3 icons. Pat your defense.
Yes.
What's your
9.
again? Oh right, I'm salvoing here. Let me do that. My fault. I should roll that 2 more times. It's still not enough. I'm exactly 1 short. Need to beat it. As you once again take. No, sorry, I rolled that wrong. Read that wrong. You are taking exactly 1 more wound.
Is that 1 more wound or 1 more shock?
1 more wound.
Okay.
You can convert your wounds to shock if you want to. That's the thing you can do. So yeah, as more sort of turn their pistols and knives onto you, the very few of them that are left are just trying to dogpile you now, Aria, you and Zad. Although of course Zad just cleared out a whole row of them and are now got a clear line of sight to Sills and the rest of the Psychers and the remaining gun emplacement guys. The rest are just jumping down at you, and as they're bearing down on you, you're parrying their pitiful blows with your weapon, but getting nicked. I imagine like as you kind of like parry, one just like nicks you right across the side of your face, right across the cheek, and you're just like trying to focus, but you can feel even without words, something plucking at those slight strings of anger you feel in the back of your brain. How dare these heretical infidels think to lay a hand on your porcelain-perfect emperor-blessed skin? How dare these heretical, emperor-begotten bastards lay a finger on you? They should burn. They should die. They will die. You will kill them.
I think Aria takes a moment to pause and kind of breathe. Like, is it very clearly not her own thoughts? Like, that's sort of like that strange, oily whisper that she's used to, that she's starting to get a little used to?
Yeah.
Alright. And I think she's sort of like, she's going to spin her Naginata, plant it into the ground, and just for 1 second, just breathe. Is it okay if I take like a half action to just like not do anything and just listen to the chorus of gunfire?
As you find yourself trying to sort of focus, find your resolve again, you can feel almost scratching at the sides of your mind, a voice negging you forward. There are more heretics to destroy. There are more infidels to kill. There is no time to rest. There is no time to pause. There is only time for bloodshed.
I think Aria is going to actually just drive her Naginata forward into the ground so hard that it's like, I guess like the power armor is just planting it, like to the point where like I think the only person who could pull it out would be Aria herself with her strength enhanced with the power armor, or Zadkiel. And she's gonna turn and head back towards Barus, just ignoring them. Like if the rest of the mob wants to attack her, she'll retaliate. But she's just gonna head over towards Barus and like armor as cover, leave the shock Naginata behind.
I'm going to spend a ruin point here, my last ruin point, actually, for a bit of a narrative declaration, as we're going to set ourselves up for a quick little break, and then we'll finish our, we'll wrap up here soon, friends. So, the following happens. Aria, as you plant your Naginata, and then jam it even further down, just absentmindedly trying to not think about the voice at the back of your brain, you don't even realize until you look down that you have planted it directly in the chest of a Sicario who was on the ground. Straight through the back of your Naginata, now going straight through them and pinning to the bottom of the ground. And as you look down at them, see blood, flower, and leak out from behind them, cresting out of their back like two visceral wings. You blink, and briefly, your Naginata is not a Naginata. This place is not this place, and you are not yourself. You are bedecked in armor of ancient brass, pockmarked and covered over with the blood of 1,000 battles. The ground beneath you is littered with skulls and bones, trophies of 1,000,000 battles, 1,000,000 slaughters, 1,000,000 victories, and in your hand is an axe, eighth-folded, brass, and bloodied, its teeth stinging for more destruction. And it is beautiful. You blink again, and it's gone. And you turn and begin to walk to Barris. The voice in the back of your head, simply smiling and cackling silently. And with that, let's take a second to give our cast just a little bit of a break. See you all back here in a few minutes, Touch not that dial nor that browser. Be safe out there, yeah? We return to the active scene of combat as a thinning mob of Sicarios and a strange group of Psychers, well, I'd say group, there's only one of them left, confronts our acolytes in the midst of heated combat. When last we left off, I believe we had just seen Aria plant their Naginata in the middle of a Sicario as they faced visions from their strange friend, and begin to leave that weapon behind as they move instead towards Barris, who has taken fire and instead is now hidden behind cover. With that, I'm pretty sure that makes it y'all's turn.
Yeah. Did I take my full action to do that?
You took your simple action to do that. I'd say you still have your combat action for whatever else you want to do. You could just sprint over to Barris. You could do a thing, shoot somebody. I don't know.
I'm gonna sprint over to Barris and just, I guess, use my armor as secondary shielding while pulling out my convergence tools. Chirurgeon. There we go. There it is.
One more time.
I don't know if I can
So,
I can
Barris.
do any Medicaid right now since I used split to half action or simple action to.
We'll say not right now, but you can start getting a look at him and start seeing what kind of emergency first aid you can apply as it's battle up against the thing. So Barris, you see yourself rapidly joined by the sprinting armored figure of Aria, who he leaves her Naginata behind and sprints over to you for some reason.
Your weapon.
I can't do anything with it. It's electrified.
Don't you need it?
Not right now. You're a little more important.
Okay. Doesn't that just lift my spirits to here?
Well, sounds like we're back over to me. We got 2 heavy stubber emplacements. We're gonna have one take a shot over at Zadkiel, and we're gonna have one concentrate over on the group of that is Barith and Aria. Let's start with the one that's obviously going at Zadkiel, because that's the easiest one to resolve. Zadkiel, as you are still in the midst of the bloody melee you have just reaped around you, the heavy stubber suddenly decides, you know what? I don't think any of my friends over there are alive. So I'm just gonna shoot. And if anybody would be alive, they probably wouldn't be in a few more seconds. So, tell me, does that pass your defense? It's a grand total of 4 icons.
4 icons, but meets it beats it, yeah.
Well, I can't shift for any more damage, so I'm just going to have to roll my damage die. I did get an icon on my. I did get an icon on my wrap die though. So it's actually, yeah, 5. I still couldn't shift though, so that wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter here. Because you love me. Defense rating 11, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm salvoing here. I'm sorry. Hold on. Give me a second. Ignore that one. Try this one instead. Oh, that's much better. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You're going to take 3 wounds this time, Zadkiel.
I don't enjoy that very much.
As you find this thing literally just pouring round after round after round from the stubber directly at you. Just puncturing soft spots in your armor, lancing your head to the side a little bit. It's not comfortable, I imagine. Although you're currently in the middle of a rather focused frenzy, so maybe it's just pushing you on. Regardless, hey Barris, Aria, I'm picking a number between 1 and 10. What is it?
9.
Aria?
7 again.
Well, you were both wrong, but 7 was closer because the number was 4. So, once again, I'm going to be shooting at you, Aria.
I was like, it's 7 the last
I
time?
mean, works
Guessing
for me.
high.
I'm literally right in front of Bars anyways, so he'd be technically half cover behind me, I think, right?
That's true. Looks like a grand total of 1, 2, 3, 4 icons. Your defense is 2, yes?
Yes.
Fucking shit. I'm going to shift 1 for extra damage. This one's also going to salvo, because why not full auto at this point? So there's an extra die for that. Oh, that's so much better. What's your defense? Resilience again?
9.
3, 4, 5, 6. So you're gonna take 7 wounds.
I'm gonna roll determination to get rid of.
You should do that.
That's one icon.
You'll drop that down to 6 wounds.
All right, that's a problem for me.
How many wounds do you have total, Aria?
I have 9 total.
So
I went down to
why don't
1.
you tell me what? As you begin to lean over to Barris, why don't you tell me what kind of serious wound you take from this heavy cannon bearing down and blasting autocannon rounds into you?
So this is definitely hitting Aria from behind. And I think what it hits is just sort of like that, like an impact, like right in between her shoulder blades. You can sort of like hear something in her back, maybe not like crack a little bit, but like definitely like the armor in her back is like it took most of the damage. There's a big like there's a big scuff mark in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm.
But her ribs feel crushed.
Absolutely. Barris, you were able to feel the impact of the round literally sinking into Aria's torso through her back and just smashing through as she is ripped by this autocannon round. That, however, all I've got, friends. It's over to you now.
Well, I'm gonna kill him.
I think everyone's gone this round, so it's back over to you guys.
Yeah, I would like to charge that stubber because I'm frenzied. I am gonna all-out attack.
Give me an agility check first to make sure you can get up there real quick. That is a little elevated. You might have to make a bit of a jump.
Sure. That is 5 icons and a 1 on the wrath die.
Noted. Go ahead and make your attack roll.
Okay. This is an all-out attack, so this will be +2. Let me just make sure. It might already be applied, actually. Oh, no, wait. So 2 more, actually. So that is really
5 icons total?
Looks like 5 icons, yeah.
Right, roll your damage.
Okay, so this is brutal, which means that
Hey, Turk.
I'm going to roll extra damage. It's going to be 12, but I want to do the math. I want to do the math, please.
Okay, do the math.
So the extra damage here, that's going to be 3 extra damage on top for 15 total damage.
Maybe the last 2 components in a mob, the one stubborn team, so you can go ahead and tell me how you eviscerate them.
So he's going to take that initial salvo, and as it's all getting chipped up, he's jumping up and like grabbing. They're on an elevated platform, right?
Mm-hmm.
Basically grabs one hand, hurls himself up. Is the last thing they're going to hear is as he chops into both of them, literally like helping to tear through with his bare fists to like remove any bone bits that might get in the way. Like that stubber is probably not going to fire again.
Oh, not only that, as for the Wrath Critical, as you tear with the chainsword, you rip directly into the ammo box, and your microfiber teeth spark enough to cause an ammo explosion. The stubber explodes, and part of it, shrapnel, like sails through and like slices through your cheek and nose. Take another wound for me. Mortal, I'll say this time. This one.
That's fair.
He's taking a
Yeah, so basically no resilience would apply to that, but it wouldn't matter because I just said it's a wound rather than resilience, so that's the difference there. So yeah, you should slice straight through, but the one stubborn team watches you rip through them and immediately recognizes, oh no, we're in so much danger. But we won't go to them. We'll instead go to our Psyker friend, who is going to... Oh, Laura, you've been sitting back there all by yourself for long enough.
Bring it, buddy.
Let's try to do a thing against you. Give me a second to pull this up the sheet again. As it will try to manifest psychic power all around it with its limited strength it has remaining in it. And by limited, I meant limited. I did not roll anywhere near enough icons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I imagine, Lara, this thing tries to manifest psychic power to, like, push and, like, rip another part of the wall out and throw it at you. But I think your imposing psychic presence just lulled it, just suppresses it, pushes it down so hard it can't tap that hard into the warp, not while it's wounded.
Nice try, buddy.
Yeah, and I got no more ruin points, so that's all I got. It's up to you.
I'll take it.
Smite sounds like a great idea.
That sounds like fun. And would you like to know something funny?
What's that?
I rolled all of my dice and they all have a thumbs up.
Oh,
Wait, what?
well, that's a lot of icons.
My entire dice pool. So in total it's 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 icons with 6 on the wall.
Yay. Well, so I'm gonna make this really easy for you. With that high of a roll, you could have easily multi-attacked and hit both the Psyker and the remaining stubborn team. So we're gonna say you did that, even though you didn't say you did that. But go ahead and roll damage for me real quick.
2.
More than enough, as they are mortal wounds. Yeah, go ahead and like as you manifest this psychic lightning that is smite and tear the soul / burn to a crisp both the Psyker and the remaining gun team.
Nice try, buddy.
So, as we see Lara kind of come from behind their cover, psychic fire already alighting in their eyes, with lightning corrosives around them, and they lance it forward. It hits the Psyker, they begin to just evaporate, just literally vaporize, become dust and particles and in the wind against them as they are immediately turned into literal nothing, completely and absolutely vaporized. The stubborn team has, I'd say, better luck, but given that they now have psychic lightning coursing not just through them, but also arcing through the gun, the railing, and all the other metal around them, feedbacking and sending psychic lightning coursing through them repeatedly as they scream bloody murder until their eyeballs pop out and their throats go raw and they finally fall over as burnt out hollow crisps of what were once men. Maybe they actually had it worse. In any case, with the last stubborn silence, you find the gunfire finally stills, and with everything else muted, with everything sort of muted, and a brief quiet, a voice finally speaks. Well, fuck, I'd say I'd surrender, but what would be the point, yeah? You certainly keep strange company, freelancer.
Where is he, Sills?
Oh, all right. You were the ones all heavy about negotiation, so let's talk first. Can you let me walk out of here alive? And certainly, he's back in your hands untouched. No problems. And I'll even throw in an added thing. You won't hear a whiff of me after this.
Oh, I'm sorry. Has everyone else stopped?
Nope.
Sorry, has everyone else stopped fighting?
There's not really anyone else left to fight except Phil.
Okay, so could I make a real quick willpower check just to see how things are going over here in the House of Zadkill?
Good luck.
Well, it's a 6 on the Wrath die and 2. So I actually need to make a DR3 in order to break my.
Well, that's a 4, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 4.
So I am cool, calm, and collected after disposing of this, and I'll wipe off the blood from my face. And sorry, not to interject. I just see if I had to interject for other reasons.
C. Primus, was that you?
What? The bombings?
What else?
Flattered you think so, but no. That kind of mess, random broad day destruction of property and life for no reason at all, no fear to be spread, no message to make. Not my body, not my work. No, if I had to have my wager, I'd say it's that brat Gronda and his little gang of miscreants. And they're all on about radically shifting the system and upsetting the balance and, what is it, striking fear into the hearts of the government. Seems like their MO. I'm feeling that could be any number of random radicals or psychopaths on this little dust ball we call a home planet.
I have to remind that she's telling the truth. Or we, I guess.
Awareness.
Got it. Oh, god damn it. I'm supposed to be good at awareness. I got a 1.
Sometimes the dice just don't make it happen.
Trustworthy.
No, but that's the thing with Sills is that no matter what situation she's in, even when she might be completely outmatched, she always keeps herself completely collected. She doesn't show when she's beat. She doesn't show what she's thinking. So it's entirely possible that she is like completely honest.
You think she's telling the truth?
Never tell with her. She has got one hell of a poker face.
We do not need her alive to expect to know the true facts.
I need her alive for something else.
Then we could take her into our own custody. We have the right and ability.
What are you with the Arbites now all of a sudden?
I did not speak of turning over to the Arbites in this instance. Manacles serve many forms and functions.
I might not know much, but I know the Imperium ain't short for manacles.
Tell me where he is, and if I see he's safe, I might let you walk.
He snaps. And it takes a bit of a while. A long 30 or so seconds of silence. But eventually, from a hallway, shuffling feet emerge. 3 pairs of them. 2 armed guards. And, well, Baron, your small brother. The individuals who walk in with him look at the scene around and see that it is absolute chaos and lots of bodies. Look over at Sills, who cuts her head towards you, Barris, and the 2 of them take a step back. Baron runs to you immediately.
I kneel down and I hug him.
He wraps himself around you, not even like a hug, just literally clams himself to you as hard as he possibly can.
Okay.
Careful with those
I was
ribs.
really scared. I haven't seen you in so long. I didn't think you'd come back.
I'll always come back for you. I know it was scary, but you're okay now.
I'm sorry I didn't believe in you.
It's okay. Sometimes I don't believe in me either.
Oh, God, it's gonna
Is
rot my
this...
stomach,
Oh,
all this
Roger.
sweetness.
Is the Skype call open?
Yeah.
Alright. To Laura, I say, can you immobilize them?
Takes some doing, but I can.
Ask them if they know anything about the people who have been missing before you pass judgment.
Actually, I had a question for Aria. Or like, well, like, how's she doing? First off, but
She's got her Karujan's tools out and is definitely looking at your wounds and not pretending her ribs don't hurt right now. Like, breathing is not a thing.
can she check Darren real quick? I don't want like a Suicide Squad situation on here, or some kind of failsafe.
If you'd like me to. Just... So, I'll go ahead and roll Medicaid on the both of you, actually.
Give me one roll for now.
That's, 5 total.
I will save you the needing to go over too much. While you, if any surgery was done to plant an explosive or some other sort of horrible failsafe or device on the small child, it would have had to have been very, very delicate work, as there are no outward physical signs of surgery done like that to them. As you begin to like immediately look over them, take up their shirt for a brief second to check for scars or anything like that. They would have had to have gotten some incredibly fine work done to have put anything like that in this child. And you don't think it looks like these people could afford anything like that.
Child is fine.
I'm a woman of my word, you know.
Alright, just gonna spit some blood to the side. You know anything about the disappearances?
They say they're kidnappings, yes? People randomly going missing out of nowhere. All ages, all sizes, all places. No. Can't say I know too much about it. Other than it's happened to a few of my guys.
You sure? Sounds like there's a lot of fear to be spread in that.
Well, that's the thing. People are certainly afraid. Question is, fear's potent when it's directed. When you know what to be afraid of, even if you don't know its shape. This is so random, so nonsensical. No one knows if they're a target or not. Well, there's certainly panic to be spread in that kind of uncertainty. It's mute mold. So no, not my work. Whoever is, though, they've got resources. I mean, to make this many kidnappings happen all across a planet like this, you'd need hundreds, thousands of workers with you, all trained to be as silent as possible. No one has any knowledge on who's doing this or how they're doing it. You'd have to be quite the well-trained gaggle of mercenaries, assuming, of course.
Any other questions we have for her?
And that's Skype call, because I think Dad Keel's definitely not close enough to hear that.
Nothing. Okay.
Yeah, falls and drops down. We have met Granza's gang. They seemed benign. What purpose would they have for destroying all these institutions? And what purpose would they
That's
have to
right.
kill Orme-Uten?
And there it is. So that's who you're working with. Whoever it is that's on the trail of whoever shot that politician, huh? Quite the story, that one.
You know something about it.
Anything more than anybody else knows. There was a shot. No one heard or saw where it came from. And much like the bombing and the kidnapping, no gang will claim credit. Hell, half my boys are ready to go to war with Cross's gang right now because they say that those guys are doing the bombings and then not claiming credit for it just to get the arbitrators more on our asses and fuck with our shipments. They want war. And I'm certain there are people in Cross's camp who want the same, completely saying the same. So, what's one to do? Feels like there's some sort of alternate force at play. Like something stirring behind the shadows, riling up the gangs and the politicians and the populace. But for what? But for what?
You speak as if you have the answer. Out with it.
If I had an answer right now, I'd be selling it to you for the sake of my life.
Your best guess. You're smart. You know it's probably trying to incite some kind of gang war, some kind of something that'll cause everyone to murder each other in a nice bloody flood. What do you think?
Well, if I had to hazard a guess, I would say some group, perhaps a revolutionary element on planet or some other sort of ne'er-do-well, wants to incite unrest on the surface. Wants to send the government into panic, send the gangs into war, and the populace into spiraling fear. To what end? Well, that still vexes me. Nonetheless, to achieve this end, they have to do it blamelessly. They can't be seen to be perpetrators or it undermines something. Which means they aren't trying to take credit for something. They're only trying to gain power. So, were I a betting woman, I would say they're only doing it for one reason, really. And she, from somewhere amidst all the bloodshed, draws a cigar and a lighter again. To make a point. Now, what that point is, how they're going to make it, and what you're going to do about it, I assume that's the nature of whatever the hell you all are. Unfortunately, is just about all I have to offer, though, as far as actual insight into the situation. Can't say there's too much more there.
I whispered to Laura in the Skype call. Are you ready?
Ready when you are.
Then I guess we're done here. Do it.
Not from. Meaning I'm free to leave, then?
And I am going to utilize Compel.
Go ahead and roll Psychic Mastery for me.
That is 4 icons.
That what's the difficulty rating on that? Or power rating? Or
4.
whatever it's called? Well, then you're good. So what does that look like? What happens here?
So they have to follow a single command. So that looks like, just for a moment, Phil and Lara lock eyes. Whether Phil's is just kind of looking around and at all of them in passing. Just for a moment, they do lock eyes. And Phil just hears Lara's voice in her head and says, "You're not going anywhere. You're gonna stay right where you are."
And as Sills turns to sort of go, well, that's what? What manner of nonsense is this? What is that psyker doing?
Ferris pulls out his pistol and shoots the two heavies in the head. Or tries to.
Both of the mercenaries are dead. We're not even going to bother with you rolling for them as they can't move currently.
You had to
You
get
bastard.
where you are. You had to get where you are by tearing people down, you said so yourself. I got where I am because I needed to bring someone up with me. More than anything else in the world, I needed to get them out of here. Now, what do you think I would do if someone tried to hurt them? I said I might let you go if you helped us. But if you'll recall, I made another promise. And much like you, I'm someone who keeps word. You're coming with us, Sills.
And where exactly would we be going?
You know, I haven't decided yet, but I've got some ideas.
Well, a woman knows when she's outnumbered and outclassed. Very well. And for the first time in maybe ever you've seen, she noticeably frowns.
Alrighty then. Shall we go? Oh, I or someone else is restrained Sills at this point.
So, if there is nothing else to be had right here, I think you're easily able to restrain Sills and sort of put yourself and bind her. What you plan to do with her, you'll have to let me know in just a moment. That's fine. But as you all sort of take a moment to recover from the shock of battle, check your wounds and address how you are, let's take a moment to kind of reflect. Where are we right now? What appears to be the game plan, and what do we want to do right now, friends? What's the game plan? What are we up to right now?
We are rapidly running out of leads.
I
Which
mean, technically, we haven't run out of leads. We already kind of knew that CP12 wasn't blaming the bomb stuff.
Yeah.
We have they're just, she admitted not having much to do with the kidnapping. That was an elimination of a lead. But we hadn't investigated really anything else with any of the victims. But I guess
Yeah.
the short-term point of order is addressing wounds, which means Aria also needs to address her own wounds.
Mhm.
That's true.
And once we've dealt with still
Actually, if the fight had gone on another turn, I was gonna try and do a Medicaid check on Aria.
We need to speak to Granza again. There is too much evidence pointing back towards their gang for us to not give them further Inquisition.
Yeah,
probably check in. Don't think it's likely.
it's a long drive.
Still frowning, speaks up again. I can simplify that.
Then do so.
Oh yeah.
And she slowly raises her bound hands and just says, left pocket of my coat.
I think Arya is still gonna keep like running Medicaid on everyone, so
Oh yeah, I'll grab it.
It's a communicator. Similar in function to the one you all have for a squad. Much older and less functional in design overall. Still just looks at you all and just, what's a gang to do? Can't keep in contact, yes?
Look at you with your social circle.
I like to keep myself well informed.
I think another early point of order should be you getting your brother back home where he needs to
Yeah.
be.
Gonna have to have a long chat with Brimrose about this.
Who's Brimrose? Who are your friends? And why doesn't that one talk?
I have got some stories to tell you, little man.
And he kind of just cocks his head in the way all curious children do.
Brimrose
So.
is. Oh, sorry.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nah.
you're fine. Go ahead, please. So, as Aria addresses wounds, as the rest of you decide to focus on everything else, you have the communicator to speak with Granza if at any point you feel you want to. That's totally fine. Still doesn't seem like she's going to ask for it back right now. Any other immediate things you want to address right now, or things you want to consider looking into?
I would like to know who is all behind this, please, if you could.
well, I mean, besides like Medicaid, does anybody want to roll an awareness roll and see if anybody else is around?
I'll roll them. Yes. Unless anyone's got better awareness, because
I have a grand total of 3. No thanks.
I've got a 4. I will happily roll an awareness.
Yeah, I got awareness 6.
Go on.
Ah, shit. I got a 4. I got a 5 on my roll.
Mhm.
5 icons.
I got 2, so you're pulling the weight here, buddy.
4.
As you are all looking around and trying to see what's going on, I think other than noticing that there are a couple of living gang members who are just still kind of shaking in terror from, the Terrify effect, they just didn't happen to get shot or killed during the resulting gunfight. They are definitely still shaken. Like, they don't appear like they're going to be going for weapons anytime soon at all here. But there are certainly 1 or 2 alive gangers still here.
I mean, they don't seem worth the trouble.
Should I try and roll Medicaid again for everyone's wounds, or was that original roll good enough?
your role is enough. I think you're going to be able to address. You were going to need time, so like either you're going to have everybody have to sit here for a while and work on things, or when you get out of here, you will definitely need to get somewhere where you can all stop and rest for a while to like help everybody do their natural healing. It'll also be a little bit difficult with Aria, given that you don't necessarily know how her biology works. Um, or sorry, all the way around with Laura, because you don't know how her biology works. But otherwise, you think you are going to be able to get some general Medicaid off to everybody with enough time. You should all be mostly okay with some time to rest and recover. Um, I think. How do I do this? How do I do this? Hmm. Uh, No, you know what? I'll let that rock for now. So yeah, I think that's basically where we are for now. You guys are noticing that there are one or two gangers that are alive on the ground. If there's anything you want to do with them, you are more than allowed to. You can talk with them, take them with you, kill them. I don't know. It's up to you. Uh, Otherwise, you mostly have the space to yourselves to sort of check in on any personal things, come up with any personal plans, do anything you need to, whatever else you got going on.
If we've got the time to just kind of sit and rest, I would like to take some time to meditate.
Oh, and on what nature would you like to find yourself meditating?
I am reaching out, searching for particular presences, looking for a fellow Aldari.
Can you make me two rolls? The first is a psychic mastery roll. The second is an awareness roll.
The first one is a 4 with a 6 on the wrath die. Or 5,
Okay.
sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And then the awareness roll is 4.
Okay.
So 5 and then a 4.
So we'll start with what happens first. You meditate, press out your psychic presence around you, looking for a particular presence.
Folks, sorry, jumping in real quick. I don't think I can hear either of you. I'm gonna reconnect real fast.
How about now?
Yes, perfect.
Hello.
Cool. How much did you lose?
As far as I'm aware, just the start of the call.
Cool.
What?
Then we'll go for like the start of the mental call.
Yeah, mental call.
Oh.
Cool. All right, then we'll cycle it back to that. Okay.
I was like, so the whole
So
thing.
Yeah, the whole session, this whole voice call, just gone. Yeah, no, sorry.
Yeah.
Just the
No, I just
start
had
of
to
the
make sure.
Yeah.
Everything.
And to make sure. Okay, cool. So cycling back. Edelvara. Not a voice I thought I'd be hearing again in my brain. Hello again, my love.
The pet name I thought you'd use given our last encounter.
Well, maybe crossing blades with you ignited some kind of passion in me. And again, there is that familiar tickle of laughter in the back of his voice. Whether it's snide, cynical laughter or genuine humor, it's hard to tell. And what sends your presence my way, dear wanderer? What could you need this time?
I find myself in search of something, and I figure that given your trades, you might have come across it. I'm looking for a blackstone.
You say the first part, his response is, "Oh, my dear Edelvara, lost and looking for something you can't seem to find. Why is this familiar?" And that joke cuts off the moment you say, "I'm looking for Blackstone." Noctilith. And for what blasted purpose could you want that foul creation?
Seems one of the Monkai that I'm traveling with has been claimed by a demon. And it will turn into a problem if it isn't addressed soon.
Then kill the lesser thing and be done with it. If the Neverborn has a grip on a Monkai's soul, you know as well as I they are already doomed.
At this point, it would raise more problems to kill them.
Convenience, then. I wouldn't think you one for compassion, Edelvara. Strikes me as unique amongst your tendencies.
You could consider it self-preservation. If I kill her, the large one will likely kill me.
And self-preservation is something I'm far too familiar with when it comes to you. And there is definitely some cynicism in that. So what then? You thought you'd just stop by for a call, ask me for some of the rarest items our fated enemies could ever create in our endless war against them, and that I would simply, what, drop by with a case of it, say hi, and leave?
Well, the hope is always that perhaps after this long period of not seeing each other, maybe we could reach out again. Rekindle something of a relationship.
I spent a
There's
few
a
eons hoping for that. Sorry, go ahead, please.
There's definitely a little bit of a hint of bitterness in that comment.
Mm-hmm. He, by contrast, drops the bitterness from his tone and says, "If you'd known how many eons I spent hoping for that when you first left, you'd know how stupid it would be to consider that now." The Noctilith. You believe it can purify the demonic corruption within the Monkai? You know it was not designed for that purpose, yes?
Yes.
And you know that it is anathema to the warp and when charged in such a way. It does not simply push out warp essence. It nullifies it, destroys it. We are inherently psychic creatures. You are choosing to go near something that could lead to your own destruction. The death of your soul, best, and at worst, the opening of it to she who thirsts.
I understand that there are risks. I will be careful.
I've spent. And he gets quiet again. So what would you offer in return for this? A chance to talk again? A chance to once again hope that you might return to my life only to disappear again?
What would you have of me? Join your raiders? Help you continue to keep the Necrons at rest?
Even that, just go home. Leave these fetid Monkai behind and rejoin the craft world. Be amongst your people again.
So that you can leave me?
He doesn't respond for a while. Its choice were mine. We would never have been parted in the first place. Can you answer me something, Edelvara? It's a simple question, really. Say this plan of yours fails. Say this Monkai leads to your death at best, your consumption at worst. What then am I to do in a galaxy when I am no longer able to simply hope for your return, but know you are gone to me? Have you considered that?
considered it in the same way that I've considered what it would feel like in a world without you, Miller.
Once again gets quiet for several long minutes. What feels like an eternity in this mental connection you find you two in. On one of the Yingir shipments we raided to keep safe from the Mongkai, we encountered a contained storage unit. Stasis frozen. We believe it contains Noctilith. I will have my raiders bring it to the warehouse you encountered us in. We will be there. We will provide you with a shipment. And then, when all of this nonsense is done, perhaps you and I can speak of what the future will look like. Together?
Together. I look forward to it.
I've done so for so long. Something in that connection flickers, but wrinkles just a little bit, as if something distracts him, pulls him from the semi-trance he has to connect with you. Something approaches. I must go.
Be safe.
I will speak with you soon, my love.
Goodbye.
And you can feel a warmth, a radiant twinkle ghost against the side of your brain. A symbol you've come to recognize as a warm, soft, almost cocky smile he's used to giving you. Before that connection, that tether fades on either side. And you return to reality, surrounded once again by your comrades, plus Sills, and the stench of present death.
How are y'all doing?
Good question. How are y'all doing?
I mean, my focus right now is probably like getting Darren somewhere safe.
Yeah. I'm ready to hear options on killing this traitor.
I mean, Aria's been a bit busy. I think she finished patching up the other. Yeah, she's finished patching up Zadkill. She's put like a what is it? It's like a stress binding on her ribs and is trying to figure out how to fix Lara. Has mostly figured out how to fix Lara.
Think you have a kidney here? We're gonna call that a kidney. What's a kidney? Don't worry about it.
You're mostly patched up. I think is what's happened while you were meditating and therefore not in your body feeling things.
Lara will heal. Just kind of surface patch.
Comes
It'll
out
be
of the
fine.
trance mid-suture.
Mid-suit.
What
I
the
think there's like a
What the
very
hell are
neat
you
row
doing?
Stitch is going through, and it's like mid-suitor of like just like has not gotten through.
Ow!
Hey, don't move.
Oh, Lara, any news or info to share with the gang?
I guess I'll do a Skype call with Aria first, specifically, and talk to her. Because it is about her. And just say that I believe I have a way to help with the demons wanted to claim you.
Arya's gonna look at you, like, still paused on the needle. Then don't tell me.
Why not?
It's still here. I don't need to know. But I have put my trust in you for this long.
Would you like me to make preparations in secret then?
If you believe you have a solution, then I will trust in it. Just as I will trust Lord Zadkiel to put an end if things do not work out.
All right.
And I think this kind of feels like it burns a little bit. There's like we're still in like this mental Skype call. I think you can feel this sort of well of like very tentative hope, but also that sort of like, I guess, resignation. Thank you. And she's just gonna go right back to stitching you up. It's like this sort of like not like a door shut, like I don't want to talk anymore about this. I'm definitely like I nope. I'm not acknowledging that I just did that.
Not like I like you or anything. Xeno.
The warehouse we went to was back at Arctis Spaceport, wasn't it?
Yep.
And I guess coming back into the regular Skype call, just kind of making it a note with everybody to add to our travel lists that we need to go back there.
I sense a lot of driving in my future.
You probably want to get on the road sometime soon, given that Valir did say he was bringing the Blackstone, soon. And also
Yeah.
ended the call saying something was approaching, which, who knows what that means.
Yeah.
Need to find a suitable break to throw this one in. Gesturing to Sills and not Darren.
Hmm. I'm sure the
In case
arbitraries of this place would have plenty of available cells.
Ain't my first time in, it won't be my last time out.
I don't think an arbitrary cell could hold her.
Then
I was thinking we ask our man in the sky if he's got any ideas.
extradition would likely be impossible. I could end it now.
want this to hurt.
Pain is an option. I would avoid it. But if you choose not to, either way, it is clear this individual must be bound.
Not like we can just stick her in a hole until we get done with this.
The deserts of this planet are quite large. Either way, he will approach and start with him like thematically having some manacles or something. Honestly, he could probably just take some strips of metal from the ammunition boxes and just shape them around Silla's arms. Yeah.
Absolutely. No question.
I think like Aria, like just like after like finishing up the last stitch, will slightly menacingly brandish her Karujin's tools because, you know, she could probably permanently paralyze this person.
Oh Lord, good Lord, good God,
good
friends,
ideas.
Geneva Convention, please.
The fuck's a Geneva?
You know, fair
Sounds
enough.
like a heretical site to me.
She could. That's
What are you, Israel?
It's up to you,
We're
Bars.
basically Canadian.
God.
What is the Geneva Convention in the Warhammer 40k universe?
There isn't one.
I don't
I didn't
think
swear a
it's true.
Hippocratic oath as a sister hospitale, unfortunately.
Also true. Well, all of your war crimes aside, it sounds like our plan is to head back towards the old Goliath, and make our way back across the waste towards the old spaceport. See if we can get ourselves some demon-written juice.
Chapter 4: The Exorcism of Aria Yun. The Emperor compels thee now.
Did we ever check in with the Inquisitor? I feel like we should check in the Inquisitor, but maybe not with our
We have a lot of people to call on the phone.
Yes, several
Pick up
people.
the phone, baby. Sorry.
Call me.
We have too many communicators that we need to talk to through now.
So, as you all begin to make your way back towards your transport, make apparently several calls on your phones, and then make your way to a spaceport to pick up a little package, we slowly pan ourselves up through the crust of the deep planet, out of the mine sink, and away to somewhere else as we briefly encounter something. Hard metal feet stomp across a soft stone floor. The tread thumping and heavy. A hand, metallic, brushes against long gangways of brushed metal, dirty and worn with time. Their other arm brandishes a large communication array, screens showing several things. A group of individuals passing into an area in a mine sink. A bloody slaughter of gang members. A conversation. And elsewhere, an individual with strange, inhuman features brandish an alien pistol and a long, curved sword, facing a shadowed darkness in front of them. Out of that darkness, a long, curved, rune-etched broadsword emerges, held in a gauntleted arm in sea green armor. Each piece a masterpiece. Each move centuries in the making. Oh, the web we weave. Oh, as the story unfolds. Everything as I have designed. Mortes Imperator. Death to the false emperor. And with that, we bring tonight's episode to a close. Friends, this has been By a Shadowed Peace. I've been your host. My name's Foxy, and I'll have my cast members very quickly and very briefly say who they are, where they can be found on the internet, and what they're doing so we can get ourselves ready to get ourselves some sleep, as it's late. So, friends, say things. We'll start with Michelle.
I'm sorry, what did you just say?
Uh, don't worry about it.
What did you just say?
Get some sleep.
It's okay, okay. Just not that totally ominous ending. All right, cool. Hi, I'm Michelle. I played Aria Yun, who is maybe going to get exercised. Who knows? Or maybe it'll not happen. Who knows? I don't know. It cool. Yeah, it's all good. Everything's cool. It's all cool.
Well, I'm glad to know that someone's a little bit terrified because I'm doing my job here. Speaking of which, we'll start ourselves on over to start tonight's show. Hey, Dan.
Wait, I was the start.
You just didn't know it the whole time.
Hi. Shit, words. Hey, I'm doing outros, right?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Alright, sorry, I was taken aback by Michelle, like, giggles. Anyway, hi, I'm Lan the Dan. I'm Barris Corbin. He has a brother. That's my entire character, apparently. As far as I can tell. You can find me on the internet at the flaming hellscape of Twitter at Lan the Dan. And you can find me, honestly, by the time this goes up, we will probably have started Steel and Arbor.
No.
So you can find me there, and you can also find me every fourth Monday doing The World Within You, which is definitely coming back, I promise. It's if you like Persona or The World Ends With You or Graffiti or Jet Set Radio. Jet Set Radio is the other big one. Check that out. And if you like tiny woodland creatures, check out Steel and Arbor. I don't know if we've totally come to terms on the schedule for that yet, but it's gonna happen.
Don't worry. We'll get there. It'll happen. Speaking of scheduling, that's a bad segue. I don't know why I tried that. I'm sorry. Meg, you're up.
Hi, I'm Meg, Indoor Magnasteria. Yeah, that was a terrible segue, but it's fine. I played Laura Talone, who was our slightly crazed, Eldari psyker, who, that she talked to her boyfriend. Her boyfriend.
Laura's got a
Yeah.
boyfriend.
Laura got a boyfriend. Who she only calls whenever she needs favors, apparently.
Ouch.
Oh, she's that
Story
kind
of my love life. Ouch.
Ouch.
Promise that's not true. Promise it's not true. But you can find me coming up after this. Next time you'll see me is probably on Singularity Roleplay for Emperor's Cross, which is gay camp, where I am. We're finally getting to the slasher horror part of the game where I'm killing all of my players.
They say kill your gays, but I don't think they mean it like that.
It's a hate crime in a game, and I'm allowed to say that.
It's not burying your gays if you bury all of them. And they're all gay. And they all die, and it's a horror film the entire time, actually.
Everybody at the table is queer. It's not a hate crime if you're all queer.
Queer on queer violence.
Queer on queer violence. Someone's
gonna clip that, and it is not my fault when that happens. Just so you know.
Oh dear.
And then the 17th we'll be breaking Neon City of Mist once again over on Neon Lights Roleplay. I'm forgetting tomorrow Singularity Roleplay will be the next installment of Heart of Darkness, our Alien RPG game. Yeah, it's my bread and butter, Alien. Yeah.
Breaking neons on neon lights?
When did
It's
that
great.
happen?
Neon is not on Neon Lights. It's on Singularity Roleplay.
I was like, damn, what a grab! I mean, we stole that show. Yeah,
Force
damn.
that
I am
number.
crazy.
Well, no, too bad. Just stream it. We'll get you in the schedule.
I'm
Oh,
slightly
you're like helping?
insane.
Holy shit. No, you're great.
I-
You're
Oh,
incredible, and I love you.
You're wonderful.
I am slightly insane, and I don't know where things are.
Residual warp feedback, it's all good, understandable.
Yeah.
You use a lot of powers this session. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
But of course, we come back on, I think, the 20th. Yeah, the 20th. We come back for Bahe Shadow Piece right here. So, yeah. I'm pretty sure I have my dates right.
Who knows? I'll figure that one out.
This one?
Or next month.
You know
sorry.
what? Who knows? We'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. It's not important. It doesn't matter. What it does matter is that you're great. Anything else you want to plug, Meg, or can I bad segue
Nope,
over
we
to
can
Turk?
send it over to Turk.
Cool. Horrible segue inserted here. Turk.
Hey, that's a great segue. I don't judge. My name's Turk, or Turk Accented, if you remember me from my previous theatrical works. I was playing Zadkiel. I'm sure you're aware I am a big boy with a lot of problems. But enough about me in real life. Anyway,
Who's your character?
yeah. But if you want to see more of me and the things I do, the words I say, if you like my face in general, I don't know you like that yet, but we'll see. Anyway, if you want to see me on stream some more, I jump between here and Lost Caravan mostly, though I do make appearances elsewhere. The best way to do that is to follow me on. The best way to see where I'm going to be is to follow me on social media or support the awesome channels I'm a part of. So just around the RPG space, support your smaller creators because that's where the growth and the real shit starts. Anyway, I'm here for more by Shadow Peace. I'm over on Lost Caravan doing Delta Green stuff and as well as in March, we're going to be getting back in with some Nova. I also run a Caravan of Cthulhu series there. It's not really a series, but more of a loosely connected series of one-shots. But it's been really fun. Next month, we're going to do Oops, All Mobsters for March. Over here on Neon Lights, I also am the GM of Oathsworn, obviously the Dragon Lords, which is a great campaign. I've had the great fortune of running for 2+ years now. We've just recently added a new member to our group, so if you'd like, you can of course next episode chronologically here. Not sure when we'll be streaming this, but will be including our new character. So always a good time to jump in. Additionally, we'll be running some more Lancer content in the future with Tears of Divinity, Fading Chronicle, featuring some familiar faces that you see on your screen here. A lot of really exciting projects in the works. So many cool shows. Just, tune in and support the people you see on your screen here. Keep being the best person you can be. Toss it back over to Philly's finest.
Cool. I'll keep it very simple, folks. I'm Young Foxy, aka Big Foxy, also known as Philly's favorite fox. Favorite fox, Philly's finest. I'm on the internet at YUNGFOXXII. Sometimes it's underscore in the middle, so if I want to look for the other. If this is airing when I think it should be, then we are right in the middle of what I'm calling Mecha March, sponsored by Women's History Month, meaning this month is jam-packed with awesome one-shot content filled with mecha-themed things meant to support charity that are meant to support women throughout the month of March. So please tune in to Tonight's Roleplay here for episodes of Until Stars Collapse, a mecha one-shot, a mecha mini-campaign run by Michelle over there, using Briar Sovereign's new Case and Soul system, which is going to be very, very fun if you're not already watching it. Tune in for some Lancer with Hooper, some Violet Core with Heck, some End of the World with me, and some Echo also with me. So be tuned for all kinds of great things coming up to your screen soon. Please be aware for there. Support people in front of you, and thanks for rocking out with us tonight. We will see you all in the very near future. Please remain vigilant, and remember that an open mind is a fortress with its gates unbarred and unguarded. Good night, Acolytes. Take care of yourselves.
Okay.